Well, hello everyone. My name is Rick Passek, the FlyFish Fanatic, and welcome to my tying bench. Today we'll be tying a spey pattern. Spey pattern is really good for larger trout, bull trout, salmon. Really like this one. It's a pattern that I've been using for many years. I've really done really well on bull trout with this one. Now sometimes I'll tie an underbody weight with it. Most of the time I don't. I'll just use a fast sink tip. This is my Lucky Leprechaun. So to start, we've got we'll get a partridge spey hook out. Just get one out. There we go. So this is a partridge spey hook. This is a 1/0. So I tie these in sizes anywhere from 6 to 1/0. This is on the large side. So I'm going to start with some Semperfli Classic waxed in a fluorescent green. Put a base down. Now it depends on how big you want. Like I said, this is a larger size. I definitely wouldn't use this for trout. For the trout ones, I tie it on quite a bit of a smaller hook. That one's even too big, so here. So I'll tie the same pattern, but on this hook here, right? The same pattern. But today I thought I'd tie the big one. So I'll just come back here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of this hairline ice dub in Peacock black, and I'm going to create a bit of a bubble in the back here, just to help with my holding my tail up. So just right on top of each other, I'm going to create a bit of a ball. Just like I said, it just helps to keep my tail up. My tail is going to be Semperfli Floss in chartreuse. I take about an 8 or 10 inch piece out, and what I'll do is I will double it 3 times. So I'll double it over. Oops. And then I'll double it over again. And a 3rd time. And that'll give me my little ball for a tail. And I'll tie it about as long as I want it, maybe a little bit longer. I'll tie it right there. Okay. And I'm just going to come forward just a wrap or two, and I'm going to fold all this stuff back too. And tie that all down. I'll take my scissors, and I'm just going to cut off a little bit longer than where the bend of the hook is here. Just a little bit longer. I'll take my brush, and let's get that brush out. Just to fluff up that floss, to make it look like it's an attractor is all it really is, right? So, okay, now on a trout spey, on a trout fly for a smaller trout, for cutties and stuff, I'd make that quite a bit shorter, but I'd also have it back further on the hook, and I'd probably make it only about that long. So, okay, so that's step 1. Step 2, gonna get a piece of strung neck hackle in a dark olive. This one, okay. I'm going to strip off all the long, really long fibers off the back and the fluff. Now I only take the fluff off just because I find it easier to be able to grab onto myself. I know some people like leaving that fluff on the back end for a grip back here, but I like it like this. So now I'm just going to separate out the tip here, make a nice little triangle for a tie-in point. Tie that in, and I'm just going to loosely wrap forward until I've got all this tied in, and then I can come back and cover it properly. Okay, give your bobbin a bit of a spin to get that flattened out a bit. Now you're going to take a little bit of wax, You can do this in a dubbing rope. You can do this into a you do split thread. You can do whatever you want. But I find to keep it a fairly slim body, which I do want, I find it better just to do it this way. So when I do little stages at a time. Okay. And this is that Hairline Ice Dub Peacock Black. I absolutely love this stuff. It dubs on nicely. It really shines through. I love the green in it. I just did a. Not sure if it's going to go out first or if it's already been out or if it's coming out. But I've done I did a black and green carry special with this stuff, and oh, it's a phenomenal fly. So. And I'm going to stop about there because I've got a couple of hackles I want to put on, right? Maybe a little bit more, tiny bit more. Kind of experiment with this. You don't want to crowd your head because you do want to leave a bit of a spot for it to make a nice spay, like a head on the spay flies. But so that's about good. You see, so I didn't make too strong of a, like too thick of a body. I don't want too thick of a body on this. So now I'm going to take my hackle. I'm just going to wrap it forward. Trapped a bit of. Sometimes with these longer hackles, some of the stuff gets trapped in there, right? So you've got to be a bit careful with it. That was good. Lock that in. Fold that back and lock it in again. Just cut my center stem out, and then I should be there. You pull out some of that stuff that's trapped in there. I'm just going to give it a bit more of a, make sure it's all secure. And then I'm going to actually get in there with my needle here and pull some of those trapped ones out. See, there's a few that got trapped in there. I mean, I don't have to do this, but just for aesthetics, for me, more for me than anything. Right? Alrighty. So now I have a choice. I can either go with my Schlappen next, or I can go with my Spey hackle next. In this case, I'm going to go with my Schlappen first, and I'm actually going to use a bit of a darker one. So, like you can see, I've got all the barred Schlappen. I'm going to use one that's actually a bit darker. And it's got some of that really nice green shine, the hue to it, eh? So I want some of these longer fibers here at the back, so I'm going to start about here. So because this feather is so long and I'm only using the back end of it, I'm not using any of that, keep that. You can use that for smaller flies, right? So I'm just going to tie that in with the shiny side facing up. I should have I should have stripped all this fluff off the back end before I started, but that's okay, I can do it now. Alrighty, so again, same thing, just stroke all your materials back, try not to trap anything every time you go around, and just keep on stroking this stuff back. One touch in front of the other. I want about 4 or 5 wraps. And then I'll take a look at what it looks like. And if I need another, I will. If I think it's too much, I can stop at 4. So let's see, one more here. think, you know what, I think I'm going to go one more. Do you want a bit of a bushy head? So, strip these fibers off here so when I come around I can tie right into the base of the feather. So there. 3-4 times on top of it, 3-4 times in front of it. Try to nip off your waist. Like I said, keep this piece here, right? Don't throw that away. That's a 4-inch long piece. That'll be perfect for a trout one. For that other hook that I showed you. So now I'm going to take my brush, my dubbing brush here, and I'm just going to separate those fibers. Schlappen has a bit of an oil on it, so each individual little barbel will kind of stick together. So I like just doing this just to break them apart, just to see what it looks like. So that's not too bad. Probably could have stopped one turn earlier, but so this is a bushier one. I tie some that are really bushy. I tie others that aren't so bushy. So now I'm going to take some of the chartreuse spey hackle, and I'm just going to put a front end on it, like a nose on it, if you want to call it that, just to give it a bit more. Have to have this chartreuse as the predominant color right at the front. So I'm going to tie this in by the tip again. Nip off. So I got my tie-in point. Put it on my side. There's a natural curve to these. So there is a natural, you can actually see it right now, that it's kind of naturally laying down like this. I actually like using these just to lay on top and having the legs spread down and like that as well on some spey flies. So now some of these spey hackles are really thick stemmed, so you have to pick one that's going to be able to wrap. So I'm just going to wrap. Once. Actually, this one's peeling off on one side, which is actually okay because I don't want that much, so actually worked out really well. These are pretty old feathers too, so they may not be in the best condition. So I'm just going to lock that down there. Lock it down, lock it down. Lock it down. Fold that back. Terrible time to break your thread, but oh well. Let's put it back on. I'll have to clean that up. Yeah, don't panic when you know, for those new tires, don't panic when you break your thread or whatever. Just do what you can, reattach it, keep going. It's the nice thing about doing this, you can always fix screw-ups. Right? And we all screw up. And if somebody out there tells you they never screw up, then they're lying to you. Because we all do. So now I'm just going to build a bit of a chartreuse head here. Make sure I've got that stem of that spey hackle nicely covered. And I'm going to give her a bit of a whip finish. Actually, I'm going to put my Sally. I like putting the Sally Hansen's or the heavy cement or whatever you use. I like putting it right on the thread. Just keeps it clean. You don't get stuff in your eye and stuff, right? So, now I'm just going to take my dubbing brush again, and I'm just going to separate that spey hackle out. Like I said, it's just a nice accent at the front, right? And that's pretty well the fly. It's pretty well done there. Now, if you want this to splay out like this, not quite that much, but if you want it to splay out more, before you tie in that first hackle, make a dubbing bowl there, and that'll help hold this out a bit more. I do that with the larger ones often. With the smaller trout ones, I don't as much. But yeah, that is the finished fly. Sometimes I'll put a red bud on here instead of the green, just as an attractor, a red or the orange floss from Semperfli, just as an attractor instead of the green, just to have a different color pattern in there with the green. But yeah, so like I said, that is my Lucky Leprechaun fly, Spey Fly, and yeah, give that one a shot. Alrighty, tie lines, everyone. If you like that video, please give her a thumbs up. If you've subscribed, thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so, and hit that notification bell, and we'll see you guys on the next tying video. Tie lines.